With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, the Next Gen Racing Light Electric Company Xfinity Series fires things off for chase race number 2. Here in round number 3, drivers going to try to inch themselves closer to securing a spot in that Final Four when we head to Atlanta in 2 weeks, 3 weeks calendar-wise, 2 more races after tonight. Last week's race winner, Steve Baker, puts his 7th in the win column this season. He secures himself in the top 4. How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave in the Cave, bringing you all the calls from the trackside and Nashville Fairgrounds. Nice little weather here tonight. 81 degrees out. Track temperature right around the same 83. I'll tell you what, looks like we've got a few drivers turning in some time lap for the Blackhawk Motorsports Pole Award. Let's see what we've got out there, how they're running. Why don't we go ahead and throw a little bit of that qualifying information up for you over there to the left-hand side of your screen. There you can see it right there. Steve Baker going to go top of the speed charts. Quick time here tonight in the Blackhawk Motorsports Pole Award qualifying session. Baker top of the speed charts with a 19:07. Matthew Spinks just behind him. Chris Medford now goes second with a 19:10. Smaller field here tonight at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Only about 24 drivers electing to come to the track here tonight. Short track racing at its finest. This half-mile track nestled just outside of downtown Nashville. Beautiful little track, half mile. There you can see it. Not quite like a Martinsville, not quite like a Richmond. It's kind of a mix between a few tracks, really, in my opinion. But most of us know Dave's opinion doesn't matter. 5-minute qualifying session here tonight, and we're down to just 2 minutes remaining on the stopwatch. 14 drivers with a time lap so far. Robert Liddell going to go 10th on the speed charts. Jeff Stiles breaks into the top 5. Gordon Larson Jr. out there in the 01 on his time lap. We still have some heavy hitters out there yet to put down their qualifying laps. The 41 of Matthew McMeekin now jumping into his car. Brian Mescal Jr., Travis Smith, Robert Hetrick. He's yet to put in his time lap. Joshua Spalding just kind of hanging out in the car right now, waiting for, I guess, a few more clouds to roll through here. Now, I don't know if drivers don't get in that time lap very soon. They're not going to get a time lap in at all. Dustin German out there getting up to speed. Gordon Larson Jr. goes 15th with his first time lap. Still about 10 drivers yet to put in their time laps here tonight. So looks like a few drivers electing to play it safe and start from the rear of the field here tonight in the Music City Mayhem 150 right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Next Gen Racing Light Electric Company Xfinity Series. We're right here in the heart of the chase, right here in the heart of country music, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. You can see Nashville just off in the distance there. If the blimp can get to it eventually, you may see that off in the background. Doesn't look like we're going to have anybody else go out there on track, so Steve Baker gonna snatch the Blackhawk Motorsports Pole Award here tonight with a 19:070. And Baker, as we said, went to victory lane at Darlington Raceway 2 weeks ago here in the opening race of round 3. So he's already secured his spot into those next few rounds. So with qualifying over, we'll go ahead and get rid of that information. Why don't we show you a little bit of your championship standings coming into tonight? That's going to explain some of these point standings to you there. You can see very close battles at the front, 3rd and 4th in the standings right there, tied with each other. Dustin German, Katie Osmond right there knotted up, 17 points back from Baker, who was already locked in to the next round. 8 points out of that top 4 spot. Chris Medford, Roy Hyde, 12 points back. Jimmy Hetrick, 22 back. Brian Littleton, his hopes are still there, but he's going to have 2 great runs, one here tonight and one next week at Texas. Littleton sitting 25 points out of a championship spot. Those top four will shoot it all out at Atlanta Motor Speedway, October, I believe it is. Oh, Lord. I don't have the calendar out. I believe it is the October 5th. I'm rolling with it. October 5th. Championship night at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Next Gen Racing Light Electric Company Xfinity Series. Brian Snare, Travis Smith, they're battling it out back there, though both of those drivers eliminated there in round number 2, but still fighting for a top 10 spot in the overall finishing order here this season. Well, with just a few final moments left, we'll let you look at your point standings as we get ready and set to go to a brief commercial break, then head down trackside for the national anthem. So don't go anywhere, race fans. We will be right back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so
and back trackside as drivers may have made their way to the starting grid. And you hear those bells in the background, you know the familiar sounds. It's time to run down tonight's official starting lineup here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, starting inside row number 1, your pole sitter for tonight's race, the Music City Mayhem 150, Steve Baker. Chris Medford gonna line up just to his outside. Matthew Spinks, Brian Snare back in row 2. Row 3 here tonight, Jeffrey Stiles and Brandon Medford. Katie Osmond, Dustin Ping back in row number 4. Row 5 tonight, the 43 of Mitchell Snare and the 99 of Dustin German. Row number 6, Robert Liedel, Brian Littleton. Row 7 here tonight, Ryan Wilson, Jimmy Hetrick, Roy Hyde, Gordon Larson Jr. back in row 8. Row 9 tonight, Joshua Spalding, Travis Smith, Matthew McNeek, and Brian Muskell Jr. round out your top 20. Derek Robinson and Craig Lehrman back in row number 11. Row 12 tonight, and rounding out the field, Eric Blount and Robert Hetrick. That's gonna do it, and we're gonna get set to go. Green flag racing for the first time here from Nashville Fairgrounds, and green flag flies as all the drivers make their way off the floor and up through the gears, back down out of the gas. Everybody looks clean and clear here early in the race. Still just lap 1, a lot of side-by-side racing. There's Katie Osmond back in the back. He's making some moves already. Mitchell Snare getting by Brian Littleton for 8th. Brian Muskell Jr. making up some spots as well. Gordon Larson Jr. gets around Ryan Wilson for 14th. Steve Baker not able to really step away and clear the field just yet. The driver sitting in that second position. He needs a solid run here tonight to break out of the bottom half of that top 8. He needs a good run to try to fight and find a way into the top 4 and have himself looking pretty at a shot for a championship in Atlanta Motor Speedway in just 3 weeks right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network as we begin lap number 4. Top 2 begin to skate away from the rest of the field. We'll jump around, see if we can see some more action out there. Did you see that 41? Excuse me. With Matthew McMeekin all over Brian Muskell Jr. Now Roy Hyde looking to his outside. Roy, also one of those drivers looking to have a solid run, looking to turn his season around. He's sitting 12 points out of the top 4 right now with tonight in Texas on tap. Hyde gonna need a good finish. Brian Littleton just off in front of them, just about into the top 10, and Littleton does secure that top 10 position. He needs one of the best runs out of everybody here tonight, sitting 25 points out of a top 4, still fighting for his championship hopes and dreams. There you can see that 80 machine stacked up, running right behind Katie Osmond. Mitchell Snare all over him now, making his way up to the rear bumper. Not much to be said about the race leader, Steve Baker, Chris Medford. They cannot continue to walk away from the field the way they have already. Otherwise, it's going to be point serve match very, very early here at Nashville Fairgrounds. Taking a look at the Ally 48 of Jimmy Hetrick. He's trying to run down Brian Littleton for that top 10 spot. Trying to run down Mitchell Snare. I apologize for the 11th position. Hetrick sitting back in 12th right now. Has Robert Liedel in the 13th Ford Mustang right behind him. Looking through the field, and we've only got one Toyota Supra out there. Manufacturing odds stacked up against the 38 of Derek Robinson. He's the only Supra driver out there tonight, and he is having a tough go at it just inside of your top 20, running in the 19th position. Things are going to happen quick. Things are going to be done very, very fast. Already lap number 11 on the board out of the 150 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. And this is, you know, this little half mile very, very quick. We've seen almost an 18-second qualifying lap. Fastest lap of the race so far here tonight has been a 19:23 set by your pole sitter, the Blackhawk Motorsports Pole Award winner, Steve Baker. Not only looks to replicate what he did last week as far as winning the race, but he looks to try to grab the pole as well as the most laps led and completely sweep this thing once again. Field tightening up here just in front of Dustin Ping. That's the 99 of Dustin German. Looks like he's having a little bit of a rough go of it right now, right through those bumps, through 1 and 2 down the back stretch, and now Katie Osmond going to look to the bottom of Dustin Ping. As Ping's going to lose that position, that's going to open up the door. Littleton looking to follow through. Here comes the 43 of Mitchell Snare. Ping able to close off that bottom run by Littleton. Snare not going to be able to do anything with his run. Here comes that 48 of Jimmy Hetrick fighting back, and Travis Smith right behind that 48, the number 9 machine. He's up 5 spots from where he started tonight's race. So far, your biggest mover of the night sitting with that Mission 22 hard charger locked in on him right now. Smith looking to gain a few more positions and keep, I guess you would call it, one of the best of the rest positions. Top driver eliminated in round number 2. Travis Smith still looking to have a solid finish of the season and walk away with a great top 10 on the point standings. Now, man, look at Mitchell Snare. He is all over that rear deck lid of Brian Littleton. Just off in front of them, let's highlight this little battle going on now. Katie Osmond, since getting by Dustin Ping, has stepped away slightly and closed right in on the rear deck lid of the 99 of Dustin German. German still struggling, still able to keep some good pace, but struggling a little bit getting the car turned down all the way in the center. There you can see him kind of diamond that corner and exit turn number 2, back down the stretch into turn 3. Once again, Katie Osmond can't do anything with him. Look at this big gang of cars all locked up running right here. This is outside of your top 20. A lot of drivers all tucked up running with each other there. You can see that Toyota Supra of Derek Robinson. He's leading this field right now as they head back towards turn number 1. Roy Hyde just a few seconds off in front of Derek Robinson right now. Hyde sitting in that 17th position as drivers streak past the start and finish line. Lap 21 now underway. Great camera shots here being brought to you from everybody back in the turn 3 headquarters. Can't say how much we appreciate all the hard work behind the scenes, getting all of these great camera shots week in, week out for the Next Gen Racing Light Electric Company Xfinity Series. Craig Learman in the 69 Hellman's machine. A little bit of front end damage on that 69 there. You can see that Camaro logo beat in, battered a little bit right there. He's going to have to try to just fight through it right now, see how much damage he can fix. Wonder if we're going to see a long green flag run here. We haven't seen a lot of racing action here at Nashville Fairgrounds. One of the first times the Next Gen Racing League has come here in any of their official series, so tough to see how the race is going to break down, how the tires are going to wear. And it looks like right now a few drivers struggling quite a bit. Joshua Spalding coming into tonight's race second in the point standings. Well, he's all the way outside of the top 20. That 5 machine sitting in 21st. And back up with the battle for a spot in the top 10. Mitchell Snare still trying to hound Brian Littleton as now Brandon Medford begins to catch up to Matthew Spinks and Brian Snare in the 43 machine. 45, I apologize. Jeff Stiles, Brandon Mefford, Matthew Spinks right there, as well as the 45 of Brian Snare. They've given up over 2.5 seconds to your race leaders. We're slowly starting to battle with each other. Once again, we'll go back up here between these two. Race leader, pole sitter, points leader, locked in to the championship for Steve Baker leads the field, crossing the line. Lap 28 now underway. Back marker is going to begin to play a role in this long green flag run. Down to the inside goes your race leaders. They're going to do away with the 01 of Gordon Larson Jr. with a fair amount of these. That's going to put us with a second driver off of the lead lap. Both Gordon Larson Jr. and Ryan Wilson off of the lead lap. One Chevy, one Ford, both off the lead lap. It does look to be a bow tie dominated field right now at the front. Your top 7 drivers all running those Camaros. Last time by, only one driver faster than 2 drivers faster than your race leader, Matthew Spinks. Brandon Medford faster than your race leader, Steve Baker. So as Baker begins to work into some of these back markers and put some of these drivers a lap down, we should see some of the field begin to close those gaps up just a little bit. Last time around, Baker running a 20.07, Medford running a 20.05. 20.05 put down also by the 5 of Joshua Spalding, but he is way back in the field right now, sitting in the 19th position. He's on a steady move to the front, but still a very long way to go. Eric Blount getting by Brian Mescal Jr. for 16th. Jumping back around, look at this melee of cars. Gordon Larson Jr. to the back marker, trying to get out of the way. More drivers on the lead lap, making their way around to the inside. That's a big train of cars. Matthew Spinks, Brendan Medford, Brian Snare, Katie Osmond lined up. There's Jeff Stiles, Dustin German now sitting back in the 8th position. German, one of those drivers that's knotted up right now with Katie Osmond, 17 points out of the chase grid lead. Only 8 points in front of Chris Medford and Roy Hyde. And with Chris running in the 2nd position right now, he's going to make up a little bit of points on these drivers. They've got to be careful to keep themselves in a top 4 spot and have a good chance to seal the deal at Texas No Limits Speedway next week, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Jimmy Hetrick with a little bit of a moment, and it looks like now Craig Lerman down on the pit road. Ryan Wilson also to pit road. Brendan Medford getting by Matthew Spinks for the 3rd position. We've got battles near the rear. We've got battles near the front. Let's go back up here with Brandon Medford and Matthew Spinks. The Medford boys running 2nd and 3rd on the speedway, but 3.6 seconds separates them. Going to stick with this battle for just a moment, because here comes Katie Osmond. He's going to look to the inside of Brian Snare. Not going to get there by the time they get back to 1 and 2. Steve Baker still refusing to let Chris Medford lead a lap. Medford refusing to let Baker step away. They're going to battle that gap still under a half a second. Dustin German starting to lose touch with the field as Jeffrey Stiles gets by Dustin Ping. Ping gonna fall back to the 9th position, and Mitchell Snare's gotten up and around Brian Littleton to take the final spot inside the top 10. With lap number 40 already underway, race fans, you gotta ask yourself here, are drivers going to look to possibly split this thing in with 2 stops? 50 laps, come and get those fuel and tires. 50 laps, come and get fuel and tires. Only 3 sets of tires for these drivers down there on pit lane, so you gotta be very careful about when you do it, but you also want to keep a set for late in the race, so look for drivers to possibly extend this run, or will the fuel strategy, the tire strategy game really come into play? Still gonna have to find that out. Gonna be a long way here tonight before we make all of that out. But indeed we will sort things out before the end of tonight's race. Dustin Ping fighting back, trying to get back by Jeff Stiles. Not doing it just yet. They're continuing to lose a little bit of ground to the drivers up in front of them. Brandon Medford, Matthew Spink still going at it. 3rd and 4th on the speedway. Brian Snare, Dustin Ping, 5th and 6th on the track. They're still fighting. There's the 48 of Jimmy Hetrick. He was battling with Matthew McMeekin. That's for 13th and 14th on the speedway. 13 goes way up the raceway that time by Robert Liddell, listed 2nd driver off of the lead lap, as Jimmy Hetrick is listed the 1st driver. Robert Hetrick, I apologize. Oh, that's Jimmy. No, that's Robert. Jimmy's running up in the 14th position. We'll get it right. The gaggle of cars still all over each other right now, just kind of being stymied here right now with these older tires. Drivers not really able to get the grip that they need to complete the passes. We're starting to see a few gaps beginning to develop throughout this field. Check back in with your race leaders as they continue to battle with each other. The 55 of Baker, your Blackhawk Motorsports Pole Award winner here tonight. He's led every lap so far, and we are a third of the way through the race when we complete lap number 50 this time by. I mean, it's almost amazing to watch Chris Medford here. I mean, he's all over him, not letting him get him away all through this entire green flag run. And I tell you what, race fans, we do have one of our onboard cameras, so why don't we jump down there on board with Medford as he looks to the inside of Baker for the top spot. Not going to be there, not going to get it just yet. We'll go back right there above the driver's helmet, looking just like you were driving the car here. All over Baker, but just not quite able to get the job done. Still battling for that position is Medford as we watch them head back into turn number 3. He's going to lose a little bit of ground. They'll work their way through 3 and 4 now. Back to the front stretch. There's Roy Hine, Brian Mescal Jr. They're going to be the next 2 drivers on the list to go down. 1 lap to your race leaders who continue this fight. 54 laps into this green flag run. We have been clean and green all night long. Brian Littleton starting to struggle just a little bit. He's now battling with Jimmy Hetrick. That's going to be 12th and 13th on the speedway. Travis Smith able to make his way up and around those drivers into the 11th spot. And Smith looking for a top 10. Littleton really struggling now on the inside lane. Eric Blount getting by Matthew McMeekin, looking to make his way up and around as well. Everybody trying to get by the back marker, the 13 of Robert Liddell right now running in that 21st position, looking at one lap down, and contact! Contact, and Littleton spins. We stay green flag racing, no caution coming out. Contact between Matthew McMeekin and the 41 machine. In the 80 of Brian Littleton, there you can see the tail end of Littleton, beaten, battered, banged up now. 57 laps in to this green flag run here in chase race number 8. That's right, second race of round 3 here in the championship chase in the Next Gen Racing, the Light Electric Company Xfinity Series. Driver inside the helmet of that 80 has got to be a little bit hot here, running nice and clean. And Brian Mescal Jr. has problems. The 33 with trouble. Caution flag flies, and Brian Mescal Jr. has trouble on lap 57. Let's check the replay. There you can see Mescal Jr. trying to catch the car all the way down the backstretch through the corner, and there's the contact, and caution flag flies here. Tough break there for the driver in the Dirty Mo Media 33 machine. We'll take one more look at it here from a different vantage point. Looks like they do tell us we've got that queued up, so let's see if we can't take one more look at how it all went down. You can see him trying to wiggle and catch the car, but just not able to do so. Dirt tracking his best Tokyo drift ended badly. Fortunately enough, not a lot of heavy damage on the front end of that 33 machine as everybody gets down pit road. We'll jump back live once again. Roy Hyde leading the field has yet to come to pit road, and he's going to hit pit road this time around. Steve Baker will reassume the race lead. As we find ourselves under caution for the first time, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, where race fans will be right back with all your green flag action right here from Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got him 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
And we come back trackside as field begins to make their way up behind the iRacing Chevy Pace truck. The driver should see the one to go this time around. We'll get to a little bit of house cleaning here early tonight. 63 laps into tonight's race will be completed when we cross the line this time around. 24 drivers took to the starting grid here tonight. We have still got 22 out there on the track with just 17 left on the lead lap. Robert Hetrick listed as the first driver, 1 lap down in the lucky dog position. The 00 of Roy Hyde fighting for his championship hopes, sitting last on the lead lap back in the 17th position. Came into tonight's race 12 points out of the top 4. He's got to recover. He's got to get to the front because his competition is running well here tonight. Chris Medford sitting out outside. Row number 1 for the restart. He's been in second place all night long. Katie Osmond also running well. He's inside the top 10. Dustin German breaks himself inside the top 5. Jimmy Hetrick also sitting right there just outside of your top 10 in the 11th position. Joshua Spalding having a much better run now. He's up 5 positions into the 12th spot. And as the field makes their way off of turn 2 back down into the backstretch, we're going to get set and ready to go back. Green flag racing this time by Boss Man waiting to drop the green flag, and here we go. Green flag racing once again here from Nashville Fairground Speedway. Baker on the loud pedal and scoots away from the field with ease. We'll take a look at this battle as 3rd, 4th, 5th on the speedway all over each other. Brian Snare looks to the outside of Dustin German. The 99 going to stack up. Here's Travis Smith. The 85 of Jeff Stiles now in the mix. Smith up 13 positions all the way to the top 5. As he digs on the bottom, he'll get by the 45. A little bit of contact between the 85 and Snare as well. So Stiles putting the bumper to a few drivers early here on this restart. Big gang of cars back behind them as well. Let's take a look at this side-by-side battle. The 5 of Joshua Spalding looks to the inside of Mitchell Snare. And caution flag flies. We've got trouble on the speedway once again. It looks like Matthew Spinks may have been involved in this one. Why don't we check the replay? Let's see how it all went down. You see Spinks just into the outside wall as Robert Liddell comes across, collects the 35, and that is some hard impact right there. Let's take one more look at it. Oh my goodness. There you see Liddell on the outside. There's the contact, and right across the nose. Catches the right side of that 35, pushes him right into the inside wall. Ooh, the Royal Crown Cola machine has seen some better days. Ooh, tough break here tonight. Nonetheless, we'll jump back up front with your race leader, your points leader, only driver locked into the championship 4. He's your Blackhawk Motorsports Polo winner here tonight at Nashville Fairground Speedway. Walked away with the race win last time we were on the track 2 weeks ago at Darlington Raceway. Steve Baker continues to dominate the night. He's led about 69 of the 71 laps that we have turned in so far here tonight. Right on that halfway point. I'll tell you what, while we are at just about that halfway point, why don't we go ahead and look at some of our highlights here tonight. So far, looks like with the Blackhawk Motorsports Polo Award, we already know that's the 55 of Steve Baker. He's knocking on the door of locking up the most laps led here tonight. He's got the fastest lap under race conditions as well. Baker pretty much sweeping this thing right now. He sits in that top spot. Chris Medford right behind him. Brandon Medford in a solid 3rd. Dustin German back and forth. Fighting for the Mission 22 hard charger right now is the 9 of Travis Smith. He's up 13 positions from where he started tonight's race. He'll restart in the 5th spot. Closest driver to him battling for that Mission 22 hard charger award is Eric Blount. Blount sitting inside the top 10 now. Started all the way back, basically tail end of the field. He started back in the 23rd position, just one spot from dead last here, and Eric Blount has been able to drive that Valvoline Ford Mustang up inside of the top 10. He's going to restart inside row number 5. When we go back, green flag racing, he'll start back in the 9th position as drivers receive the 1 to go. It's time to double them up, and it's time to go back. Green flag racing once again to your top 2, Steve Baker, Chris Medford. who's going to get the advantage on the restart. Watch for that 55 to jump on the loud pedal quick and try to scoot his way into turn 1 without any troubles or problems. Drivers waiting to see that green flag waving. Green flag flies once again here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Whoa, big stack up by a lot of cars there. You can see multiple drivers all back to back down the back stretch. They're heading back into turn number 3. Drivers beginning to sort it out just a little bit. Top 2 nose and tail, 3, 4 now, all nose and tail. Dustin German's looking for some positions. Eric Blount making up yet another spot. He's in 8th, now drops back to 9th. And there is racing all over this speedway. We're going to jump around just a little bit right now. Jimmy Hetrick has Dustin Ping, Matthew McMeekin, Brian Littleton all in tow. Derek Robinson in the 38 machine is right there. Robert Hetrick down 1 lap, but there you can see that Clemson number 30. The 18th position right now. Clemson having a little bit of rough go at it this season so far, but they're going to bounce back. We do know the program very well, and do look to see some good games coming from Clemson University a little bit later on throughout the college football season. But right now, let's focus on the task at hand and what's really good, and that's the racing on track. If you haven't already, race fans, drop these drivers that thumbs up. Let them know you appreciate all the great racing action they bring to you week in and week out right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So go ahead, help us on out. We've already got to that 2K, but let's push this thing to 3,000 subscribers. And as said, drop these drivers the thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash that bell on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you. Each and every time you stop by, you're watching the 6 of Eric Blount continue his run to the front inside the top 10, now sitting in the 9th position, but he's got a fast 5 of Joshua Spalding closing the distance. There's the 43 of Mitchell Snare. Robert Hetrick and Dustin Ping are going to fight it out. And I'm telling you, there is crazy good racing action all over this speedway. Drivers all over each other, everybody fighting for positions. Doesn't matter if you're at the front or the back, everybody fighting right now. We'll jump back to the front once again, show you some more of this great racing action being had between Steve Baker and Chris Medford. They'd have went at it all race along for each other, but advantage has been to Baker, and Baker has secured the most laps led here tonight. So there's only one more thing for him to do, and that's walk away with another checkered flag. If he can see himself in the Century Equipment victory lane here tonight, that would be a 2 in a row, possibly 3 in a row. Let's go back and take a look at that. No, Dustin German won at Charlotte Motor Speedway the weekend before Darlington. Now your top 2 beginning to separate themselves just a little bit from Dustin German, the 99 Ford Mustang, having trouble keeping the pace with your top 2. Brandon Medford in the 83, sitting right there in 4th. Travis Smith starting to close in on him. Then it's a big pack of cars. Let's go ahead. Let's see if we can't go high above the track. Let's jump to the Turn 3 drone cam here tonight. Do appreciate all the hard work these guys put in, learning how to get these great camera shots here from Nashville Fairgrounds and every track we visit. Focusing in right now on that 45 of Brian Snare. He's got Katie Osmond all over him. Eric Blount not too far off. Joshua Spalding still looking to break into the top 9. He is sitting in that final spot in the top 10. Mitchell Snare all over him. Jimmy Hetrick still not letting up. Dustin Ping, Matthew McMeekin, and Brian Littleton rounds out your top 15. So, we haven't checked it in a while. Let's go over here, check out the YouTube chat. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling over here tonight? How's everything sound? How's everything look? Hope everything's fine for you. If not, let me know. I'll try to see if I can tweak and fine-tune some things for you out there in the TV side of things. We do appreciate you stopping by. Whoa, and a big moment. One goes around. Jeff Styles spins. Self-spin by Jeff Styles, and that's going to bring yet another caution out here tonight. That's going to be the third caution flag of the evening. You've seen it take place right before your eyes. Let's go back, take one more look at how it went down. Jeff Styles goes around. And it looks like through the bumps and just upsetting the car, not catching it quite right. No contact. Few more drivers got caught up and involved in that one. Gonna have to go back, take one more look at it here. Who else was involved in this one? Because we've seen a few drivers catch some sparks there at the tail end of this one. Styles gets loose off of two, hits the inside wall, back up the track. Whoa! I believe that was the 5 of Joshua Spalding and the 80 of Brian Littleton, just narrowly escaping that 85. We'll jump back up front with the race leader here in just a moment. There you go. Steve Baker leads the field back behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck, as drivers should be heading to pit road. No, most of them gonna stay out here. With those limited sets of tires, drivers being really, really picky on when they do come to pit road. Looks like a handful of drivers have elected to come down to pit road and get those 4 fresh tires and fuel. Roy Hyde, Travis Smith, both of those 2 Dirty Air Racing drivers, they've been on to pit road for a second time. Also looks like the 5 of Joshua Spalding has come to pit road, so just 3 drivers on the lead lap have elected to come to pit road and get themselves on a different tire and fuel strategy. The rest of the field was on pit road back at lap number 59. So a big gap, almost a fuel run difference here for these drivers. We'll have to see if this plays out well for Roy Hyde and Travis Smith. They're going to be able to stay out much, much longer than the rest of the field, but the rest of the field will not have to come back down to pit road if they don't want to. After their second stop of the evening, will it be under green flag conditions, or will we see a 4th caution of the night? We're fixing to find out, as this time by looks like the boss man waving the one finger at him. There's 1 to go before we fire things back off. Baker, Metford still knotted up first and second. They'll restart the race the same way they have all night long. Dustin German and now Brendan Metford in the second row. Third row, Brian Snare and Katie Osmond. Pace truck down and away. Field on the gas, and green flag flies once again here in chase race number 8 for the Next Gen Racing Light Electric Company Xfinity Series. Ooh, Dustin German gets by Chris Metford for the second spot. Metford gonna fight back to the inside. He's gonna look to take that spot back right on the rear bumper of the 55. Metford slides up the track, squeezes German. German's able to set sail now. He'll look to utilize the high side and keep the car wound up. Drivers dolphin, like porpoising, that's the word I was looking for. Looking like a dolphin down there on the inside lane on 1 and 2. A lot of movement out of the cars over the bumps, and check out Dustin German fighting hard around the outside. Metford with a little scrape of the wall. Here comes Brandon Medford looking to the inside. 83 and the 84 going at it. And we've got a pass for the race lead. Dustin German goes around on the high side. He's going to put Steve Baker back to the second position. Now, will Baker be able to get back up there and take that spot back away? Katie Osmond looking to the inside now on Brandon Medford. That's going to be for fourth and fifth on the speedway. How's those new tires working for Travis Smith and Roy Hyde? Roy able to advance to 14th. Travis Smith firing off well. He's back to a top 10. We're going to stay right here with the action at the front of the track. Top three spots, throw them under a blanket. Dustin German leads Steve Baker and Chris Medford, while Brandon Medford falling off a little bit. He's sitting in fourth, fifth place now to Katie Osmond. And caution on the speedway. Caution on the speedway. Jeff Stiles has some trouble. The 85 with more trouble. Matthew Spinks involved as well. Let's go back. Let's take a look, see what happened here. Looks like slow on the track is that 85 with some trouble here. Oh, and the 35 has the trouble first. Spinks with some big issues. Off the front end of Robert Liedel, where there's where you have the trouble. That's why you had the trouble. Gordon Larson Jr. caught up, looks like, as well as Jeff Stiles. So multiple drivers caught up and involved in this one, and we'll head back to your race leader now, Travis Smith. He's going to take over the top spot, but it looks like he's going to be in an unfavorable position. Travis Smith, Roy Hyde, both of those drivers came down on lap number 90. Looks like Roy Hyde, he's going to go ahead and come back down pit road. And Travis Smith going to have about an 11 lap difference on the tires here. Will he be able to hold off the fresh tires behind him? Dustin Ping has stayed out on track. Last time he was on pit road was lap number 59. He's gambling. We're going to have another quick caution here. As Dustin German beats the field off of pit road, he'll restart back in third. And as we're under caution for the fourth time here tonight, race fans, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We got big-time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage.
As Travis Smith nails the gas, he gets up through the gears, and we go back. Green flag racing once again, as promised, not missing any of the green flag action. Big gaggle of cars all lined up with each other here. Chris Medford able to get by Steve Baker. Whoa, Medford with a big slide. Big slide there for Brandon Medford. He's going to lose a lot of ground. 83 all sorts of out of shape. The 84, I apologize, the 84 of Chris Medford all sorts of out of shape. He'll give up some more spots and drop all the way back to 9th. Mitchell Snare's going to look to his inside now. Jimmy Hetrick getting by Brian Littleton for the 11th position on the speedway. And caution, caution, flag flies as Medford and McMeekin have trouble. What has happened towards the tail end of the field? Let's go back and see what happened with Chris Medford. There you see the 84 already had a little bit of trouble here. Oh, and it looks like McMeekin just hits the outside wall, then both drivers back across the track in more trouble for that 84 after a big-time save. Kind of just along for the ride in that one. We'll take one more look at it. What do you say, race fans? Let's go to the turn 3 blimp cam for this one. Let's see how it went down. There you can see close quarters racing action. The 41 just barely into the outside wall. That's enough to bring him back down on the track. And it looks like Chris Medford may have bore the brunt of that damage there. Tough break there for the 84 of Medford, running solidly inside the top 5 pretty much all night. Had a little bit of trouble, fell back into the field, and more trouble has besat upon that 84 of Chris Medford and his crew there in damage control mode. Now Medford needed a good run. He was having a great run here tonight, and this may put his championship hopes and dreams in jeopardy. Travis Smith playing a little bit of games with Damon Cox. Cox electing to come to the track but drive the pace truck here tonight. Wasn't feeling up to speed in the car, so elected to jump in the pace car here tonight. So we do want to give a big shout out, and you're welcome to Damon Cox, the Iron Man here in the Next Gen Racing Series. He has the most starts, and, well, Damon Cox, one of the originators, one of the founders here of Next Gen Racing, so good to see him still out the track, even if it's not inside one of these light electric company Xfinity Series machines. We've seen the track temperature at 83 degrees earlier here tonight. Where are we sitting now? There's your weather report. Air temperature cooling off about 3 degrees. Track temperature just dropping 1 degree. So as we continue to get later in the night, it looks like the trend is going to go that way. Track may start getting a little bit more grip, but we are knocking on the door of just about 38 laps remaining here tonight from Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and this is right up. I don't want to boost them too much here, but the 9 of Travis Smith, he is really enjoys some of these old school NASCAR grassroots type style tracks. Hickory Motor Speedway, Nashville Fairgrounds, Rockingham, those old school tracks really playing the wheelhouse of the driver sitting inside that Dirty Air Racing number 9. Travis Smith will restart this race at the point once again. He'll have Dustin German to his outside, Katie Osmond, Steve Baker back in row number 2. Pace truck down and away. Smith waiting for it, stacks up the field a bit. Restart line, and he's on the gas. Green flag flies once again here in Nashville. Smith's going to break away from the field. Rest of the drivers still battling for positions. There's Jimmy Hetrick and Brian Snare going at it. Dustin German, Katie Osmond going at it as Osmond loses a spot to Steve Baker. Baker looks to the inside. Everybody following that fast. Travis Smith, number 9, Chevy bow tie right now. Whoa, Baker sideways off of 2. Dustin German drops it to the bottom in 3 and 4. He's going to look for that top spot, and not much Smith can do. He's given up some speed with the older tires, and caution flag flies. Big crash. Chris Medford, Dustin Ping, Robert Liedel, all involved in this latest incident. Let's go back, see what happened, see what brought out the 6th caution of the evening. We'll jump back here, See what happened with the 84 of Medford. He's fighting hard to get himself back up through the field. On the outside, there's Dustin Ping down on the middle in contact. Medford goes around, Ping goes around, more drivers pile in, and that's just about all she wrote. We'll take one more look. Let's see what happened here. And there's Dustin Ping just floating up the track just a little bit. Gets into the 84. The 6 of Eric Blount involved the 29. Gordon Larson Jr. almost catches the piece. The 41 of Matthew McMeekin almost involved as well. And, you know, this is serving Travis Smith well. Able to keep himself towards the front of the field, minimize the damage here from being 11 laps different on the tire cycle. So it's voting well to help out that 9 of Travis Smith. But Dustin German, the man right now. Dustin came into tonight's race knotted up, 17 points back behind your points leader, Steve Baker, sitting third in the championship grid, tied up, knotted up with Katie Osmond. Osmond sitting back there in the third position. So both of these drivers having a solid run here tonight. Steve Baker already locked in. He's sitting in fourth. Take a look at Joshua Spalding. Where is Spalding sitting at? He is down, off, and out of the race right now, making his way finally back onto the track. The 5 sitting way out of position, all the way back in the 19th spot. That's going to vote well for Roy Hyde, Jimmy Hetrick, Brian Littleton. Those drivers struggling just a little bit, but now knocking on the door of some solid top 10 finishes. Brian Littleton sits in the 10th spot. Roy Hyde in 11th. Chris Medford with some trouble as well. He's sitting back there in the 17th position. So Hyde, Littleton, Hetrick, they're all capitalizing on the drivers having some bad luck. Jimmy Hetrick, how about that Ally 48 driver out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, sitting 7th. Overall right now up 7 spots from where he started, as we have got just 30 to go this time around when drivers see the green flag fly once again. Oh boy, here we go once again. iRacing Chevy Silverado pace truck down and away. Field to the restart box. Wait for it. Green flag flies once again. Here in the Next Gen Racing Light Electric Company Xfinity Series, Travis Smith looking to fight off the hard-charging Katie Osmond. Osmond down there on the bottom, and no, Osmond gets a little out of shape. He's going to save the car, but Steve Baker going to look to go around. Now fighting back in 3 and 4, Osmond still down there on the bottom. He's got the 83 of Brandon Medford right behind him still. Brian Littleton with some trouble. Ryan Wilson also has issues. Oh, stack up off of turn 2. The 88's going to back up, and the 83 of Medford going to get in the tail end of him. Under 30 laps to go now. Field beginning to stack up as Steve Baker looks to take back the second position away from Travis Smith. Smith going to give up that spot, running the high line. He falls back to third. Well off pace off of turn 2, watching the battle unfold between the 83 Zoe's Place sponsored machine of Brandon Medford and Katie Osmond. Osmond looks like he's struggling out of 2. Able to pick up the pace that time through 3 and 4. Osmond gets himself a little bit of cushion now. Brandon Medford having to deal with Brian Snare, the STP Petty Blue 45 up in the mix once again. He started inside the top 5, looking to get back there once again. Snare sits in 6th. 43 of Mitchell Snare getting by the 48 of Jimmy Hetrick. Here's the 00 of Roy Hyde now inside the top 10. Hyde coming to the front when it matters the most. Just 25 laps to go here in the Music City Mayhem 150 from Nashville Fairground Speedway in the Next Gen Racing Light Electric Company Xfinity Series Chase Race number 8. That's right, round number 3 underway. This is the second race in round 3. Just Texas Motor Speedway to go next week, next Sunday night, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. If you don't want to write it down on your calendar, well, head on over here to the Turn 3 Racing Network on the YouTube side of things. Drop these drivers that thumbs up, and as always, click subscribe and smash that bell on the right-hand side. Let us take care of it for you. You'll get a notification anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. 7 days a week, great racing action being brought to you all night long on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And Dustin Germanson snatching that top spot. He's beginning to step away, and now we're beginning to really see those older tires have an effect on Travis Smith. He's outside of the top 5 now as Brian Snare looks to the inside and makes the pass. Snare moves to 5th. Well, big trouble on Brian Snare way up the track. Locks the tires up getting into turn number 3, and he's going to give up 3 spots after that. Mitchell Snare now trying to run back down Travis Smith. That's going to be for the top 5, for a top 5 finishing position here as well. Dustin German still leads Steve Baker. Katie Osmond sitting about 1 second back from them. Tell you what, race fans, with just 20 to go, let's jump up here to the battle for the top spot. Your top 3 under a blanket. Your Blackhawk Motorsports Pole Award winner, the driver with the fastest lap of the race, driver that has led the most laps of the race, only driver in the field locked into the championship for Steve Baker. Trying to find the pace, trying to find the line, see if he can't get up and around the 99 of Dustin German and take that spot back away. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. Katie Osmond out of the Blackhawk Motorsports team looking to try to see if he can't solidify a little bit better of a podium finish here. Try to shake up the show at the front of this field. The Smoke Show, your team points leaders. And they've pretty much wrapped up the Team Points Championship multiple races ago. They run 1 and 2 on the Speedway. Gonna jump around the track once again just a little bit here, trying to bring you some more of these battles that are all over this half-mile racetrack here, nestled just outside of downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful, beautiful racing facility here, and Travis Smith continues to struggle on those older tires. He's going to look to need a caution to get back into things here as he's beginning to drop through the field. Tied right now with Eric Blount for that Mission 22 Hard Charger Award. Both drivers up 12 positions, but as Smith continues to struggle, look for him to possibly lose that Mission 22 Hard Charger Award as Jimmy Hetrick and the 48 Ally machine all over Smith right now. They'll make their way around the 29 of Ryan Wilson. Wilson, one of the back markers here, down multiple laps. And as we cross that threshold to just 13 laps to go, we have still got 21 drivers on the racetrack with just 19 still on the lead lap. And Ryan Wilson has trouble. Caution flies. Caution yet again. Oh boy, things just got serious. Let's go check things out. I think they're saying we got that one on the drone cam, so why don't we go back, check it out from high above. There you see Wilson to the outside of Roy Hyde. 38 of Derek Robinson looks to the inside, and looks like the car just kind of locks up right there on him. Spins sideways. He's going to go ahead and reset, get it on out of the way. Nobody having any extracurricular activity, so with just 12 laps to go, what do you do now, race fans? If you're Dustin German, do you come to pit road? 150 laps in the official race distance here with just 11 laps to go. You're on, I believe, lap 138, 139, somewhere right in that range. But you were on to pit road about 29 laps ago. Do you come down for your last set of tires and fuel? I would expect to see that 9 of Travis Smith definitely come to pit road, as he was losing some spots and struggling to keep himself inside the top 5. As a matter of fact, fell all the way back to the 6th position. But who comes to pit road? Who stays out on track? Looks like everybody going to stay out on track this time around. Pit road going to be open this time by, so we'll see if we've got any takers with 10 to go. I want to give a big shout out to some of the Facebook side of things. Some people joining us over there on the Facebook side, watching tonight's race. Good buddy, good friend from way back when, Travis Pryor, man. The kid, how you doing out there? Glad you could join us over there on the Facebook side of things. Good to see you checking in with us. Stan Stinson also out there. Tim Smith, Travis Pryor, typical Nashville. I hear you, Travis. Pretty good racing, though. I mean, we had almost 60 laps of racing before we've had this rash of caution. So some great racing here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for sure. And Travis, as I said, man, good to see you out there in the chat checking in with things. Still hanging around the Next Gen guys, huh? Love to see you, man. Love to have you back sometime. And yeah, man, great checking in with you. Great to see you out there. Also, a shout out to Haley Rader out there on the YouTube side of things in the chat, checking things out here tonight. Big hats off, and you're welcome for that as well. And drivers are gonna get ready to get down to business. Pace truck lights are out. Nobody comes to pit road. Track position absolutely king here in the late stages of tonight's race. And who's going to get the job done? We're going to have just 7 laps remaining before the end of tonight's Music City Mayhem 150. Oh, boy. Man, I don't know. We're going to go to the drone cam for this latest restart. Try to catch all the action that we can. Pace truck down and away, and green flag flies once again. 7 laps to go. Dustin German clears the field. Steve Baker right there. Katie Osmond side by side with Brandon Medford. Medford with the run off of turn 2. Big stack up through the field. Osmond struggles to keep third. Race leader Dustin German stepping away. Stacking up the field is Steve Baker, the 83 of Medford right there. Katie Osmond, Mitchell Snare, Travis Smith trying to keep Jimmy Hetrick at bay. That's for 6th and 7th on the speedway. He's got the 45 helping out his calls, and caution flag flies. Dustin Ping with some trouble. The 1 goes around. Trying to see if we've got that one on a camera somewhere, and yep, they're giving us the thumbs up, so let's check the replay. Over and through the bumps, and maybe a little bit of contact. We're not sure from that vantage point. Let's see if we can't catch that one from the blimp cam. I do believe we've got it on the blimp cam. So when we go back here, there you see that 30 of Hetrick, and there's the contact once into the corner once again. Oh, stack up and again, and around goes the 1. I don't want to really put that on Robert Hetrick. There was a little bit of a stack up there coming out of the corner from the 6 of Eric Blount. Blount had to get out of the gas pretty quick, and that stacked up the field, and unfortunately for Dustin Ping, he's the one that catches it, and around he goes. But how about this race, fans? I believe we are going to have ourselves an unofficial green-white checkered here. Only one attempt at a green-white checkered when it becomes an official iRacing green-white checkered. So we may have ourselves a little treat here with 3 laps remaining. Will we see this field be able to complete tonight's race in the official race distance, or will we run it long by 2 or 3 laps? Can Dustin German keep Steve Baker at bay? We've seen once Baker was in that dirty air in traffic, His car just doesn't seem to work quite as well as it does when it's out there in that clean air. Dominated the first half of this race, has really struggled since dropping out of that top spot. We've seen Baker sideways on the speedway. Look for him to be all gas, all guts, all glory chasing, as he is already locked into the championship 4. He can throw it all out there on the line, but how much does Dustin German want this? He's walked away so far in Century Equipment victory lane twice this season. Can he make it a third time and be at its most important timing right here in the final round of the championship chase before we figure out who our final 4 will be? We already know one of them, so we're fighting for 3 positions. Joshua Spalding, Dustin German, Katie Osmond, all knotted up, running with each other in the point standings. And with Joshua Spalding outside of the top 12, Dustin German, Katie Osmond, both looking for some great finishes. And if German can walk away with the race win, he'll secure and solidify his shot at a championship. Man, oh man, it's about to go down. iRacing pace truck ready to duck off. We're ready to fire things back off here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Out of 3 to the restart box, and on the gas, green flag flies. Dustin German steps away. Close battle, Medford into the side of Baker. He sends Baker up the track. Baker's gonna lose 2-3 spots now. And with 2 to go, caution flag flies. Big stack up. Brian Snare, Chris Medford, Brian Littleton, Roy Hyde, Matthew McMeekin, Joshua Spalding. Oh my gosh, a lot of drivers involved in this one. Oh my gosh, and there you see the stack up already. Let's take one more look at it here. See if we can move a little bit more. Oh, and there's Baker across the nose of the 9, the 43 involved. Smith destroyed. Roy Hyde destroyed. Littleton destroyed, and it's a parking lot on the backstretch. Oh my gosh, one more look at it here. There you can see Steve Baker trying to recover. He comes across the nose of the 9 into the outside wall. Snare gets caught up and involved. Hetrick involved. Medford involved. Dustin Ping, Matthew McMeekin. My gosh, parking lot on the backstretch here at Nashville. And that is gonna do it, and that is gonna put us at the end of tonight's race. That was it. That's all she wrote. That was the one attempt at a green-white checkered finish, race fans, and it is all she wrote. Dustin German walks away with the race win. Brandon Medford in second. Third place goes to Katie Osmond, and Dustin German gonna smoke it down here. Trying to celebrate a little bit up for the fans on the front stretch. And well, race fans, with that being said, we're going to step away from the track, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And as we come back trackside at the conclusion of yet another great racing night here for the Next Gen Racing Light Electric Company Xfinity Series, things beginning to come to a close here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. The Music City Mayhem 150 already done and in the books. And let's see if we can't catch in and have a few words with one of the drivers that walked away in a podium finish here tonight. Let's see if we can't dial up and have a word with the driver inside of that 88. Katie, it's Dave. You got me? Hey, man, how you doing? How you feeling after a solid finish here tonight? I hear you, man. Well, a little rough kind of there towards the end, but a good opening green flag run. How good was the car out there for you tonight? And do you think you had anything for a race win?
No, I was getting the hang of it there at the end, obviously, but I don't know if I really had anything for the win. Maybe on a chance green-white checkered or something if I was up there on the first row, but I'll just take a third place out of here.
Well, a good run for you. Once again, you came into tonight's race, Katie, sitting locked up with Dustin German, 17 points out. You had a great finish here tonight, so it's going to put you in a good spot as we hit Texas Motor Speedway next week, the final cutoff race before the championship four. How are you feeling moving forward to Texas?
Yeah, I mean, I won at Texas earlier in the year. It's going to be a different setup this time, but I think I've got the hang of that place, and as long as I can just get a decent finish and we don't have a super surprise winner, I think I can lock myself in there.
Well, Katie, it's been a great season for you. It's been a pleasure watching you all season long into victory lane 3 times this season, multiple podium spots here throughout the year. We look for you to continue your solid runs and consistency next week at Texas. But before we let you go and enjoy tonight's podium finish, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yep, as always, thank you to the sponsor, Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company. Thank you to the teammates. I think a few of us got caught up in something there at the end. That sucks. Thank you to everyone watching, and thank you for broadcasting.
All right, my man. Well, we do appreciate the kind words, and we'll see if we can't catch up with you in post-race next week at Texas. All right, there you go. There you have it. Final parting words from the driver walking away in third here tonight. That was Katie Osmond sitting inside his 88 machine, and that's going to move us right along to the next driver in line. Why don't we see if we can't catch up and have a few words with the driver that walked away in the second position here tonight inside his 83 Camaro. Brandon, it's Dave. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Dave.
Hey, man, how you doing? How you feeling after a solid second place here tonight?
Oh, man, with this group of drivers and this tough racetrack, I'm ecstatic.
Well, it got a little bit rough out there towards the second half of the race. How are you feeling about your chances to possibly get up there and take that top spot away?
After that second caution there, I found a little something and was hoping to just save my stuff. And, a couple guys didn't take tires there on one of them restarts, so kind of bunched the top line up. But I felt really good there at the end of the race that I could at least hang with them, but I didn't think I could pass those guys up front. This place is really tough to pass tonight.
Well, Brandon, not really running for a championship at this point in time in the season, so with it all being about pride and race wins, what's your outlook when we head to Texas and then to Atlanta?
Well, if I'm honest, Katie's the guy to beat at Texas. I mean, if we can go in there and run right behind him or with him, I'm going to feel really, really good about it. I'm starting to feel this car out a little bit, so I think I can be a contender, but it's going to be a tough place to win. These guys in this group are amazing. It's top talent, and I'd take this group anywhere. So if I can run the top 5, I'll be happy.
Well, Brandon, congratulations on walking away second here tonight once again. Great finish for you and the entire team. Before we let you go, though, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody else back at the shop?
Yeah, Dave, I'd like to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. They're always great to watch. I love watching the replays. You do a great job. I'd like to thank, this Next Gen group, Katie and Damon, all these guys would put on a great league. Light Electric, all the sponsors involved. Zoe's Place, I carry on the car. They're out of Greenfield, Indiana. They help kids in need when they're having a rough time. So that means a lot to me. Then I'd like to thank my family, thank everybody else. And if you don't mind, Dave, I'd like to mention we're going to have a race on Friday to benefit Zoe's Place and Ellie's Place with Doug Wysocki. We're trying to donate as much money as possible to those two organizations. Look us up on Facebook and hope to get a bunch of drivers in there.
All right, my man. Well, again, congratulations on the second place here tonight, and we'll try to catch up with you before the season's out.
Yeah, nice talking to you, Dave.
All right, there you have it. That is second place finisher Brandon Medford walking away from the track. Really excited about his finish. Really wants to run well next week at Texas. He says the man to beat is that 88 of Osmond. We'll have to wait to see if that holds true or not. And that's going to lead us right to this man right here, parking it in the Century Equipment Victory Lane. Let's see if we can't catch up and have a few words with our race winner, Dustin German. It's Dave in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Dave. What's going on, man?
Same old, same, man. How about yourself?
Feeling pretty good right now, on top of the world, actually.
I hear you. Well, this is going to be your third win of the season, one of your most important or the most important one. It's going to lock you in to that championship for how much weight is lifted.
Man, so much you wouldn't believe. You'd ask me the circle. Even think I should, it would not be Nashville. I don't know how I pulled it off, but today.
Well, a good day for you on the track. You ran well all race long, up 9 positions from where you started. At what point did you think that you had the equipment to get the job done and walk away with a checkered flag?
About halfway or 3/4 to the race, we made a pass on the outside. I think I was started 4th or 3rd or something, and we made a run on the outside and actually passed both the leaders, man, and took me by surprise. I think I actually found something and just try to stay out front. It's, track position means a lot here. It's hard to pass on the bottom, and if you can kind of keep that high line rolling, you can kind of keep them at bay.
Well, you were able to keep them at bay here tonight. Looking forward to Texas, or more importantly, really, let's just go ahead and jump to the championship night at Atlanta. What are you going to have to do to walk away with the hardware when we head to Atlanta?
I mean, everybody knows I'm going to have to beat one of my teammates, and hopefully we can get Josh in there. And I'm not sure who's going to make it between KD and Chris. It looks like KD might have the upper hand, but, all those guys are going to be tough. And thankfully, it's one of my favorite tracks, and it's real slick, and you got to really drive it, so it's going to be fun.
All right, Dustin. Well, again, congratulations on walking away with the checkered flag and into Century Equipment Victory Lane here tonight from Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Most importantly, locking yourself into the championship four. So before we let you go and celebrate the night away, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody back at the Smoke Show shop?
Yes, sir. I want to thank you, Dave, first and foremost, and Turn 3 Racing Network, and all the guys at NEXTGEN that show up every week. KD for taking over the reins and doing this thing. We're going to come back next year real strong. And I want to thank SSR, my team, Josh, and Steve. Me and Steve work hard all week just practicing and just kind of sharing notes and stuff. And that's 8 wins out of the chase here, eight chase races and 8 wins. So I want to keep that going.
Absolutely. Well, again, my man, congratulations on walking away with the checkered flag here tonight, and we'll try to catch up with you at Atlanta.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, there you have it. Final words from the driver walking away with the Century Equipment Victory Lane checkered flag here tonight. That is the 99 of Dustin German securing his shot at a championship. He's going to lock himself into the top 4 when we head to Atlanta Motor Speedway, and that's pretty much going to do it for us at the track. What a race we had. Long green flag run there at the beginning of tonight's race. A little bit of a rash of cautions towards the end, and you know what they say, cautions breed caution, so that can be expected, especially at a very, very short track like this, just a half a mile. And looks like producers are hitting the buttons right now in the background, so we'll try to run down some of your official race results here tonight. Walking away with the top spot, that belongs to Dustin German in that 99 machine. Brandon Medford coming in second. Well, Katie Osmond rounds out the podium spots. He finishes back in the third position. Robert Hetrick in fourth. Gordon Larson Jr. back in fifth. Sixth spot goes to Travis Smith. Derek Robinson in the 38 machine. He finishes in seventh. Chris Medford in eighth. Ninth spot tonight goes to Joshua Spalding. Brian Littleton rounds out your top 10. 11th spot here tonight to the 45 of Brian Snare. Roy Hyde in the 00 parks it in 12th, while Jimmy Hetrick finishes 13th. 14th spot to the 55 of Steve Baker. Dustin Ping rounds out your top 15. Mitchell Snare pilots the 43, home to 16th finishing spot. Eric Blount in 17th. Matthew McMeekin back in 18th. 19th spot here tonight goes to Robert Liedel. Jeff Stiles, Matthew Spinks, Brian Mescal Jr., Ryan Wilson, and Craig Learman round out your top 24. And we forgot to mention the Hard Charger Award here tonight. The Mission 22 Hard Charger Award looks like, I believe, belongs to Robert Hetrick in that 30 machine. We'll have to wait to see if we can't catch up with Robert at some point. We'll try to catch up with him next week if we can. And with that being said, race fans, another great one in the books here in the Next Gen Racing Light Electric Company Xfinity Series at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We'll head things out and get ready for Texas Motor Speedway next Sunday night. And until then, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in turn 3.